Yes, people. Welcome to the One True Red podcast. And we have a pivotal weekend in the title race, perhaps, chaps. Maybe for us. But starting with yesterday's game, Arsenal against West Ham, I chalked this up as an Arsenal win, comfortable. And Mikey, you said on the pod last week that they beat you last year and it might be a problem. And it turned out to be a problem.
Yeah. And it wasn't the same problem that I thought it was going to be. I thought we'd at least create something, but we were particularly poor. And it looks like that we're relying on Nwaneri to just do everything for us. Odegaard is so bad, so bad. He can't shoot. He's not creating anything. I can't even think of any other attacking. I wanted Lewis Skelly to play on the wing or something, just to give us something going forward. Trossard was bad as well. The guys are just hiding. They're so bad. I didn't think that we could score, which was why I wanted us to be able to keep a clean sheet. And then Calafiori was pretty poor.
He should have stopped that cross.
Bissaka just kept going past him for fun. And I just don't understand what's happened. So Calafiori should have just taken him out. Yeah, pretty bad performance, to be honest. Kudus was good for them. Bowen's always dangerous. So they've got a couple of threats that we don't have. But saying that, I'd said the league was done already. It's been minuted in this pod week after week. Now perhaps you guys agree with me. Over
Uche's not here to agree with you. Uche's not here to agree with you.
Now you two can agree. Fence sitter and Aki.
Yeah, we'll come on to the Man City Liverpool game, but we're still got to talk about Arsenal and West Ham because
ask your questions.
I'm sure you guys must have been fuming, surely.
Fuming at what? The fact that we can't create, we haven't got any attackers. Yeah, fuming? No, not really. Annoyed, frustrated, not fuming, because the league's done.
I've got two questions for the Arsenal fans today, actually. Three, make it
three.
First one is, what happened to the best left back in the league? 2 games, 2 red cards. He hasn't cracked out what you guys thought he was going to be like. And then second one, really, is Arteta. Like, Arteta in, Arteta out. Who you don't think he's to blame?
You're asking these same questions every week.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I'll address you first.
Because the way I look at it, unless you're happy being second and also runs, you can't be happy with Arteta as your manager. He's made some glaring mistakes. You didn't buy anyone in January. You didn't buy anyone in January.
Well, he said he wanted to buy someone. So
he didn't. He put 60 million pounds.
He doesn't own the
club after they sold.
He doesn't own the club. Can you just correct yourself?
Well, no, but he spent a lot of money anyway.
He didn't put a 60 million bid in, like you just said. I caught it.
He did put 60 million.
He didn't.
Arsenal did. Yeah, probably under his instructions.
And if you listen to our pod last week, the one that you missed, I clarified that figure was closer to 45 million. And if we had put in 60 million, Villa were ready to accept it. Watch the pod.
Like you were Arsenal's accountant, but it was reported that it was 60 million pounds. That was widely reported.
Corrected you.
What, are you their accountant? You're not. So I'm going.
If you don't want to go on the latest information, then I can't help you. But based on your questions, you're asking a question about the best English left back. That's what was said, and it was clarified for you. And what makes him not the best English left back?
Well, he's had one game, mate. One game against City, and that's it. What's he done either side of that game?
Has he had one game?
Yeah.
How many appearances has he made?
What are you on about here? Yeah, what's going on?
He got sent off. He basically lost you the game against West Ham by getting sent off.
No, he didn't. We were already losing 1-0.
Even Arteta said
stupid comments.
But even Arteta said that. He said when
Arteta said that Lewis Skelly lost us the game, did he?
No. But he said when you lost a player,
what did he say?
You had to change tactics, and you tried your best, but you couldn't.
We were already losing 1-0 and not creating
working anyway. So
you don't understand.
Yes.
The game was done. We were not scoring in that game. We could have had an extra man and we wouldn't have scored. And to your second question around Arteta has improved us dramatically from where we were. And we were against City getting a lot of points. And now we're against Liverpool getting a lot of points. So, yes, we have failed in this recent period. But at the same time, you've just got to acknowledge the situation that it is. What is it? Is it 4 or 5 red cards now? Arteta's not on the pitch doing that. You could say that he needs to be more of a disciplinarian, but people said that about Wenger as well. But what can you do about players doing silly things?
Stop getting sent off. You could do that.
Yeah.
But no, let me pick.
Your got sent off the other day, didn't he? And it cost you.
Let me pick up on a couple of those points before we move on to Craig's view on the game. So just on the Skelly sending off, I think Craig, you said a lot about how the referees don't seem to like Arsenal very much, but that referee did you guys a massive favour, and thankfully VAR corrected his mistake, because that was that of all the red cards you've had, that's probably the reddest of the red cards, and the guy gave a yellow inexplicably gave a yellow.
Let me support a referee for once this season. If he,
you might have to have a shower afterwards because you're dirtying yourself.
No, I don't get down like that. If he looked up, Raya was very clever in that after the incident he sprinted towards the ball, and so it looked like he was closer to the ball and could have got the ball on the replay. And then when you slow it down, you see that he's nowhere near getting to the ball when the interaction happens. So he needed the support, and VAR worked this time. Often it hasn't done, but
including yesterday, including other games. But yeah, it definitely worked, and you got to give VAR props for that one. But just on the Arteta thing, one thing that was crossing my mind just as you speaking there is that I think we can all acknowledge, as me and Aki and other non-Arsenal fans can acknowledge, that of course Arteta's taken you up from the level that you were before. But then there's an element of, is that enough, given you've had, not this season though, because of many different factors, sendings off, a lot of injuries to key players, but last season and the season before, and you might have to correct me about the season before, but definitely last season, you had the league in your hands with 8 games left and you flopped it. I think you had the league in your hands the year before that and you flopped it. So at what point does the people point the finger at Arteta? At the start of this season, everyone knew, goodness me.
Wake up, Aki. It's time to wake up. The pod's on.
Look at this amateur. Goodness me.
Listen,
at the start of this season, wait, let me just finish this point. So at the start of this season,
how long is this question?
At the start of this season, you went into the season knowing that you needed a striker. You didn't get one. It has bitten you on the bum in the January window.
So I can correct you on
At what point does Arteta take some blame for what's gone on in the last 3 seasons?
He'll probably have a more negative stance than I will.
Yeah,
but
I do.
You can't say that we came into the season knowing we needed a striker. We scored the most goals we've scored in a Premier League season last season.
But you wanted a striker.
So we scored the most
Did you
goals
want a striker?
we scored. I want loads of players, mate. What is it? Football Manager? I'll take Mbappe. I'll take Dembele. I'll take Musiala.
Mo Salah.
What are we doing here? Right. So basically, we scored the most goals that we scored last season with our players. They made whatever changes they wanted to make.
Who's they?
And they've gone more negative this season. That's clear. But
who's
then
they?
We've had significant injuries. Odegaard has been rubbish this season, and he's usually one of the kind of players that you look at as an 8 rated player throughout every game. He's been poor, and he missed 7 odd games. Saka's been out for ages. Saka's our go-to guy. So it's not as simple as saying, oh, you needed a striker at the beginning of the season. Because if all of those players were fit, nobody would be chatting this nonsense. If all of our players were fit, it simply wouldn't be the case.
But I think, given the opportunity that we had in January to bring players in, and we didn't. And that may not be Arteta's fault. He may have been asking for it, but
It's Arteta's fault.
it's not Arteta's
You got to
fault.
blame
But
at some point.
there's got to be some sort of blame there, Mikey, because we've been in this
On
position
Arteta?
last season with Arteta
Listen.
in terms of can he get what he wants to do his job? Because
We've
if
had
he's
this
not,
conversation.
if he's going to be a yes man, then what is the point of all this?
Listen,
What
we've
we
had
doing?
this conversation, yeah. And at the end of the day, he came out publicly and said he wants an attacking player. He came out publicly. So it's not that he didn't want a player. So you could suggest that there's something going on in the club with Edu having left, and now with Arteta coming out and saying that he wanted an attacking player and us not getting anybody in. So you could say that there's something going on.
Yeah.
But
Tactically, though, tactically, he's made mistakes. You got very, very lucky against Leicester when Mourinho scored 2 goals. You got no luck against West Ham.
No, we didn't.
Tactically done his
He did.
job
Listen,
in terms of changing
there was
it.
nothing
He
tactically
got
wrong
lucky.
against Leicester.
He got lucky. He played him against West Ham and got unlucky. Mourinho was non-existent.
No.
Yeah.
He didn't get lucky. What's going on here? We played
It was
Leicester. We were the better team, and we should have won. There was nothing lucky about it. Nwaneri hit the crossbar, Nwaneri hit the post, Nwaneri set up a goal. Mourinho scored 2. We did not get lucky. Okay.
But even with Nwaneri, I remember earlier in the season when we were on the first few episodes of this pod where we was talking about why isn't Nwaneri getting a game? I think it was when Saka just got injured. I can't remember exactly.
No,
it might be when Odegaard got
Nwaneri could
injured.
have covered that spot.
Why is Arteta not bringing him in?
He's phased him in.
Yeah, he's phased. He's 17 at the end of the day.
Okay, well, I'm not.
He's
okay.
17.
You got any 17-year-olds playing at Liverpool? Just asking.
If they're good enough, they're old enough, innit? That's the old
But
adage.
they're not playing at 17 for Liverpool. When was the last one? Owen.
Dan's been our youngest player. Scored in the
Premier League, mate. Don't talk about Carling Cup.
In the league, probably what's his name that's gone to Middlesbrough? The right winger. Doak.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
where is he now?
probably just 8. He was 17/18. So yeah, some of them have been.
They don't come through. And they definitely don't play a couple of Premier League games, do they?
If he'd taken his chances, then he would have done.
Liverpool in the Premier League. How many 17-year-olds are playing first-team football? It's just not happening. It doesn't.
Nwaneri.
Yeah, because he's been phased in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then let's move on to Craig then.
Wait. Actually, there was a point that I want to cuss Arteta and Arsenal in general, because I know I'm taking everything up right now. But last comment. I don't understand how we haven't got a striker in our youth system or in our reserves or anywhere that could have come on. I watched that game. Mourinho played every minute of that damn game. And there was a youngster on the bench that's supposedly a striker. He must think his career's done already. Because if we can't score and he's not getting a minute, then on your bike, son.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder that Chido Obi Martin went to United. No wonder.
United, yeah. And I think I'm touching on that, Mikey. We got some another youth player that's actually training with the first team, and Arteta spoke to him and said, "Look, he's good. We might be looking at him to bringing him in the first," and he just hasn't brought him in. And the crisis that we're in, I think he's got to just use something that he hasn't done before and start using these youth players, because Mourinho's not going to work throughout the whole season.
Listen,
so I don't know.
We've got 11 games left, yeah. I reckon we'll struggle to score 15 goals.
Yeah.
It's gone, like, I'm hoping for corners. Right?
That's what it's reduced to.
The worst thing with the corners, we need Saka back.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy on the corners.
Yeah.
And Havertz was the chief blocker.
Yeah, well, White's back now. White can do that.
Okay. Same old Arsenal.
Yeah.
Always cheating. Craig.
Go to Craig. I'm done.
Yeah, Craig. Arteta in? Arteta out. What are you saying?
I'm Arteta till next Jan. I'll give him the summer, and I'll give him till January. And if we're in a position where it's a similar situation we're in now, where we're still haven't got the right squad together, or we're still looking for something to bring in to help the squad, or even just looking back on how it's always come to a season where we're not quite there. He's had enough time now. He's had enough time. Now
When did he become manager?
Been there about 6-7 years, is it?
Yeah,
Is it?
Now, yeah. He's had enough
Wow.
now. He's had enough time. He has to deliver next season. He has to deliver next season.
Okay, that's a good point then.
The end of his sixth, I reckon.
What's that?
I reckon this will be the end of his sixth at most.
Is it
okay?
Because second twice, and then this season we'll finish second again. Second 3 times, and then I think it was something like 8th, 7th, 5th type thing before that.
To be honest, I didn't realize he'd been around for that long. But on that note, then, before we move on to talk about Liverpool, on a brighter note, on that note about Arteta, and Craig, you said you'll give him till January. Mikey, 6 years is a long time. And you've had three Premier League challenging seasons. Are you gonna give him, if he doesn't win the league next season, are you still Arteta in?
Depends on the situation, because if it's a season like this season, like the way I look at things is, would a different manager have been able to do something differently with the players in the situation with the exact scenarios that we've had? That's the way I look at it. So if you're looking at it last season, what managers would you want? Other than Pep at that point in time, nobody would have talked about Slot for anything, because Slot was an unknown.
But isn't that a good point though? Like I didn't even know who Slot was when at the start of last season.
But the point is, who would you say? So Craig, who are you going to go out and get? Is the question.
Yeah, it's a tough one at the moment because it all
people
depends.
Were saying Alonso, but Alonso is not going to win nothing this season.
Yeah, but I think just given the time that he's had, given the scenarios that he's been in and how he's managed them, he should have that go-to now on how to actually resolve things or resolve situations that come up, whether it's injuries, whether it's tactically, whether it's if the board are not giving him enough money. He should have a solution to everything now. And if he doesn't, he needs to come out and say, well, this is why I can't.
Well, he did. He said he needs an attacking player.
Well, then, you know what I mean? It could be a summer where Arteta says, you know what, I'm not given the tools that I need to deliver. So he might be gone. You never know. You know what I mean? We're talking about him staying, or would we want him to carry on? But he might even just leave if he's not been given the tools, to be honest, because I don't see how we didn't get any player in at all. It's looking absolutely ridiculous. It's one of the worst decisions we've ever made as a club to not bring in anybody, because all the players that we were linked with, they're all doing well. They're all doing well for their clubs. Tell's doing a job at Tottenham. Rashford's doing a job. Asensio, whoever else we were linked with, they're all doing something, and we haven't got anything to bring off the bench at all. It's crazy. We should have brought someone in.
Tell's just about doing a job. He's not scored yet, has he? Did he score yesterday?
He hasn't scored, no. And
right. So if we just want someone running about up front, I could do that job.
Yeah, but even
it's not as fast. But I'll definitely hit the target more.
It's just looking dire with this squad on in terms of what we do next in terms of tactically, because we've got no players in. We're gonna have to bring in a youth team now, I think, to help us out, because if Ethan's on injuries long term, then we're in a lot of trouble.
The way I look at it, for next season, and that's what you're looking at if you're looking at changing Arteta, right, is I can't see City being ready next season to mount a serious challenge. So it's us and Liverpool again. Liverpool will strengthen because they'll fill a left back that's shocking and has been kind of weird, but they have to make sure they sign VVD and Salah. If Salah goes, then we're in prime position. I don't care who Liverpool sign. We should be favourites for the league.
Agreed.
And in that case, if Arteta were to fail then, and not win the league, then you got to say, mate, you've been there or thereabouts 4 times. We can't be nearly men forever. Like, see you later.
Time to move on.
I wouldn't actually say Arsenal being in the title challenge this season, though, because we're still in February and they're out of the title challenge, as Mikey said right at the beginning of this podcast. So
yeah, but we're going to finish second, which is the point.
Yeah, but
so we'll have finished second 3 years in a row.
But that's not a title challenge. Like, there's been many clubs who finished second who didn't stand a hell of a chance of winning the league title.
So when I asked the question, who are your challengers? You've won the league.
No, we didn't have any challenges. We didn't have any challenges. This was like.
Why were you not piping up? You didn't say that.
I did. If you speak to anyone that I know, I told them we were going to win the quadruple. I was disappointed.
Well, you're wrong.
We're on for the treble.
All right, Aki. So as we're on for the treble, let's talk about the Man City game today. So very, very professional performance. I saw that we had, I think it's 34% possession, which is just making me laugh, to be honest. 34% possession, and we won 2-0, and it was a fairly comfortable match, Aki. Great win, very professional. We've had a couple of disappointing draws recently, but this one, has that sealed it for you in terms of the title, the Premier League title?
Yeah, I thought after we drew against Villa that Arsenal might have a bit of a chance, to be honest, but then they lost against West Ham.
How can you think Arsenal have a chance when you don't have any challengers?
No,
and you haven't had any challenges.
No, because if you guys had beaten West Ham, then you would have been what?
So at that point, you had a challenger, did you? I'm just trying to understand something.
We potentially could have had, but it didn't transpire that way.
Yeah,
but as it goes, I thought Man City were very toothless up front, to be honest with you. I think without Haaland, they don't really have a focal point. I think they've been playing, their tactics have been with Haaland all the way through the season and last season. So I thought this season they were pretty toothless. And you're right, it was a very comfortable game, surprisingly, to be honest. But yeah, I think now it's really, I think if we lost it from here, boy, I don't know, man. I'll be getting pretty angry. From here on in, this should be a shoo-in, really.
Yeah. I mean,
and we can probably rest players for the Champions League as well. It's like 11 points now, so we can probably rest players for the Champions League now. Like, we're 11 points ahead.
Yeah, potentially, but I mean, I wouldn't go that far ahead myself.
Come on, what you got to say?
My view, Mikey, is that we should win the league from here on in. Based on the position we're in, we should win the league. If we don't, then we need to take our hat off to whoever does win it. But also, we need to take the criticism. Wait a second, look, you're ready to jump in already. I haven't finished my sentence. We need to take the disses. We need to take the disses that we would deserve to get if we lose the league.
Oh my God.
If we lose the league from this position, there's no excuse really. There's no excuse.
To be fair, we've only lost one game all season, so like I think we can get a maximum of somewhere like 95 points.
Listen, in about 6 games, I think it will be done.
Yeah, easy. Yeah,
in 6 games, I think it will be done.
What I'm hoping for is that we win the league by the time Arsenal come to Anfield. That way you can give us a card of honour. That'd be ideal.
Not for that reason. Just likewise.
No, I just remembered 1989.
I was 7 then, mate, so I definitely don't remember that.
It's all right. You've seen the tapes.
You know what? John Barnes was to blame for that, by the way. Watch it back. John Barnes was to blame for it. Guys trying to dribble on the edge of the box. Just take it into the corner. Anyway. So yeah, Liverpool comfortable victory. Takes us 11 points clear. We play one more game than Arsenal.
You're not going to address your Crystal Palace tactics?
What, the 34%?
Low block and sprint on the counter.
Yeah. Do you know what? I will address it.
We've been dissed about having a low block.
Stoke FC.
I just want to understand.
Every game.
It wasn't really a low block.
Play like this.
I said we've been dissed about having a low block. So what's going on now? You're celebrating it.
For me, yeah, I'm laughing.
Oh.
When I saw the percentage, I thought this is Arsenal all round. I'm like, even the goal we scored was from a corner. So yeah, We've been looking over at Arsenal, getting some tips, but nah.
You've been copying our corner
For me-
routines.
We tried. We have tried and failed miserably as well. In answer to your question though, the low block for me, this is what kind of sets. This is what I appreciate about Arne Slot, is that we went with two 10s in the game today, and the thing that I've liked about him is that he's not afraid to change it up if we need to. So there'll be games where it's not going right. He'll move it to two sit in, one advanced, or move it to one sit in, two over, all that sort of stuff, just through the game. Whatever the game needs, that's what he does. So to go away, we haven't beaten City at their ground since 2015-16, apparently. I heard after the match.
Yeah, but
so
can we not do this?
10
Because
years.
When we beat them 5-1, it was City are shot, City are done, City are this, City are that. And then City play without Haaland against you and you win. And then it's, we've gone there for the first time in 10 years. Like,
I'm just stating facts,
man.
You were at home though, weren't you?
I'm literally just stating facts.
We
Mikey.
won 5-1, you won 2-0.
Yeah, but you beat them at home, not away.
They had Haaland, they didn't have Haaland. Are you okay?
But were you at home or away?
Listen,
You were
you cannot
home.
eulogize.
You were at home, exactly.
You
So
can't win.
how are you comparing apples and pears?
You can't eulogize about a 2-0 win and not credit the 5-1 that happened. And that's what happened.
When was the last time Arsenal beat anyone for the top four?
What? I suggest
you
you go and
didn't
look at the stats, mate. We ain't lost against a team from the top four in 3
No,
years.
no. When was the last time we won an away game against the top four?
An away game.
Yeah, like Anfield or
Because we have one.
yeah. When?
What teams
When?
are you classing as top four?
Like the Etihad, Anfield.
Yeah,
Where's the other team, mate? And then I'll tell you we beat them.
Villa.
What are you going to say?
We beat Villa.
What about
To be
Anfield?
honest,
Okay,
I'm
done.
not really.
Next.
Yeah, I'm not
Chelsea,
really sure
done
where this
Who else?
one's going. But
When was the last
Let's
time
go.
you won at the Etihad? When was the last time you won at the Etihad? I don't think you've ever won there. You haven't been out at Anfield in decades.
Decades. Are you all right?
Yeah, decades. Probably 1989 was probably the last time we beat us.
I don't know about that.
And they're going to get whooped this season.
I remember the Henry one where they papped and danced around Carragher. That
Right.
wasn't that long ago. But let me
That was ages ago.
go back. Let me go back to your point, Mikey, about eulogizing. So I'm not actually even eulogizing. All I'm bothered about was 3 points today. The 34% is making me laugh because we did it without having the ball. We just did what we needed to do and got out there with the points. I'm really not fussed about the performance. I'm not fussed about the fact we beat him 2-0. I'm not fussed about all it was. Man City, the team in front of us today, we needed to win and we won. So that's what I'm bigging up. And I'm bigging up the fact that the manager saw it exactly like that. Because sometimes under Klopp, it got a bit too emotional and a bit too pep against Klopp. And obviously it's not his fault that that's the way it gets billed. But yeah, we went there, played without the ball, did what we needed to do, 2-0, go home with the points. That's all that matters. And especially for the next 11 games that we've got left, just collect points and then we can sit and talk about this was our best performance and we played beautiful football here and there. I don't care. Get me the title. That's all I'm interested in.
You'll get the title. I told you this.
You've won it already.
Thank you. But your thoughts, Mikey? What are your general thoughts on the game?
On the game,
if you actually watched it,
terrible. Yeah, I watch all games, so you can rely on me here.
This is true.
Well informed. Salah, the difference.
That was a dig at you, by the way, Craig. But anyway, go on.
No, I was big on all of you, mate.
I'm joking.
Listen,
I'm joking.
My thoughts on the game: Salah was exceptional again. Match winner again. He's just something else. Trent was getting roasted, but I don't understand why Doku just wants to beat a player, and that's all he wants to do. He beat Trent about 40 times today and didn't create anything.
That's all over there.
Just beating Trent just made no difference. So it was rinse repeat. Let's feed Doku to beat Trent. Like, let's do it again, and nothing come of it. They just kept doing it. Aki was right. They've designed a team over the last couple of years that's designed for Haaland to feed that big central figure to be on the end of everything. And now they're struggling to get around it. Their squad is looking particularly old. Gundogan coming back is particularly poor, and his legs are gone. Kovacic has never been that good for me, and definitely isn't good enough for City. They continue to play Lewis. I'm ecstatic.
I knew it was coming.
This
Absolutely
guy,
rubbish.
I don't know what he's
you know what?
done. To earn
Even my
his
dad,
dreams.
my dad is 80 odd years old. He doesn't remember people's names, but he said when I spoke to him last, that Lewis guy, why do they keep playing him? And I was like, yep.
It's literally
True.
crazy.
I have
It's,
no
it's
idea.
almost like
No idea.
self-inflicted harm by Pep. Like he's scratching his head up and he's playing Lewis. Like he wants to do this to himself because the team selection just doesn't make any sense. De Bruyne's shot, his injuries have just finished him now. I heard he's still playing through pain. He just can't play. He needs to go to Saudi where it's nice and warm and he can play at a lower tempo and earn some money. Which is why I think next season City are going to be in trouble. That they're signing today. Was it Nico Gonzalez?
Gonzalez? Yeah, Gonzalez.
The centre mid that's supposed to be a breaker holder. He barely made a tackle today. And he's playing holding mid. So the future's bright for us. City are done. And hopefully some of them
Kuzanov as well.
That's a strong comment.
Say that again, Aki.
I mean, that's a strong comment. Like in Pep's first season.
That's only because you said they're back. But I'm saying they're done.
No, but listen, but in Pep's first season, they didn't play too well. I think they finished like 4th that season. And then they went on to win the league twice on the trot, I believe. So honestly, I would City had a back.
Just taking the facts of this exactly, Mikey. Just taking the facts of the squad.
The whole thing.
There's De Bruyne is one of the best players over the last however many years. He's gonna be gone. That's a fact. Gundogan, his legs have fallen off. And then you've got the right back situation. I saw them linked with someone. I can't even remember who. But they've got so many positions. Actually, wait a sec. They've got so many positions they need to fill. And they've already spent 200 million or whatever it was in January. And those signings don't look like they've made them that much better other than up front. Yeah, other than Mamouche, the others don't look great.
But first of all, I think there's a lot of similarities between that crappy season we had on the clock, where we just about got 4th position, and we had and that summer, I think we got rid of Fabinho, we got rid of Henderson. We had to basically retrain our whole midfield, etc. And the following season, we nearly won a quadruple, right?
But Aki,
and Pep Guardiola isn't exactly a lesser manager than
that's fair, but that relies on the fact that you get those signings right. Because if any of those 3 or 2 of the 3 flop, then you're in trouble. And we don't know whether the 3 signings they've signed already are any good.
But who's to say? But City have normally had quite good recruitment.
Just to go back to your point, what you're talking about, that Liverpool team. So in my mind, it was Fabinho. His legs are completely gone. Wijnaldum went, so you didn't have sufficient cover for him, and so you needed. And it was only this season you got lucky with Rabiot in there. Let me just get into and who? Yeah, he's right.
Hendo.
Yeah, he's rubbish.
But those 3 were our first team midfielders.
So that's 3 players that you needed to turn over. Yeah? City have got so many more problems. Can you name one of their defenders that can actually defend?
Oh, and Firmino, who was our striker.
Answer my question, please. Can you name one of their defenders that can actually defend?
Who at City?
Yeah. Name one of their defenders.
So Diaz.
What? Have you seen
him
play?
Why
was he on the bench again today?
He's probably injured. But the thing is that City, 2 seasons ago, they won a treble, right? They played an unbelievable number of games. They were playing FIFA World Cup, blah 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 blah. It was always gonna this season was always gonna happen at some point.
So you think that there's going to be a click and they're going to be going next season again with these same players?
No. I think there's obviously going to be an overhaul.
What needs to change?
They probably need to refresh their midfielders. Their midfielders.
That's it.
Because they've got. But if they change their midfield, well, first of all, they lost Rodri, who was a big loss for them.
Yeah.
Then they've got Bernardo, Kovacic, and Gundogan, whatever he's called. They're old. Like maybe 5 years ago, those guys might have done something.
But you're making a point.
Kovacic and Bernardo aren't old.
They are.
They're not.
They're nearly
old.
30. They're 30 or above.
Bernardo's
not
30,
old.
30 or 31.
They're 30 or above.
Bernardo is just
Kovacic
30.
isn't.
Kovacic isn't.
How old is Kovacic?
Gundogan
He must be 30 or over.
20,
No,
29,
he-
probably
he'd be
29.
28,
He's
He's been around for ages. He went from Real Madrid to Chelsea. But anyway, my point being is that I think City first of all have the money. Second of all, they have the manager. So I think if you're writing them off, personally, I think City will be our challengers next season, not Arsenal.
And what are they going to do?
Arsenal will never challenge while they have Arteta.
Yeah, but the
That's a
problem
fact.
is, you said that
that
City
is
were back
a
this
fact.
season just a few games ago.
Yeah, but
Look
people
what's
can make
happened to them.
mistakes.
We
People
slapped
can
them
make
both.
mistakes. You know, people can make mistakes. What I would love is if City overtake Arsenal.
You always
this
make
season.
mistakes. That's your
I
problem.
would love that. Man. I would absolutely love that. That would be jokes.
Oh, good.
Listen,
All right, let's
you need to stop
let's-
focusing on other teams and hope that you re-sign VVD and Salah. The end.
I think the latest is that, well, we know anyway. They're most likely to sign. The other one
That's
is
not the
less.
latest, by the way.
That's what was reported this week. That's what was
By who?
reported this week.
Why
Sam
haven't
Wallace
they
to the
signed?
Telegraph. Huh?
Why haven't they signed? This
They might have
ascendancy to the
done-
league title should
Look,
be
I'm not even going to get
certain.
into it. I'm not even going to get into it. Let's
Yeah.
see what happens at the end. Let's see when it gets announced. When it gets announced, let's move
Well-
on to midweek games. We've got some midweek games coming up. So the consensus here seems to be that the league is done, but still, the show must go on. And Forest are playing against Arsenal. Craig, who's lining up? Did you say Ranieri's injured?
Yeah, I haven't heard any reports on how bad it was yet, but yeah, he went off. He got substituted in the game on the weekend. So I don't know who we're going to field, to be honest. I really don't. I think we're in a lot of trouble, and I think some of the youth players now have to come forward.
That is your only choice, to be honest.
Yeah, and seeing that Forest actually play that whole low block and the way West Ham would have set up against us as well, how every team has probably set up against us this season, we're going to be in a lot of trouble because, as Mikey said, the forward options, attacking options, we thought we were going to create, we're not even creating now. So I don't know how this game's going to go, but I don't think it's going to be very good for us in this game at all.
Well, we normally do predictions, Craig, so you know what you've got to do.
I'm going to hope for a 1-1 draw, to be honest. I don't know who's going to score our goal, but I'm going to go 1-1.
You're being optimistic, mate.
Mikey, nah, come on. It's
0-0.
usually you with the fighting talk.
0-0.
0-0.
I think we have to go there and just put men behind the ball and just stink the place out and get a
Get
draw.
out.
This is crazy.
You know what? That would be the worst game of football ever, because obviously that's what Forest do. So
Low block versus low block.
is it on
Let
Sky?
the rest have
I hope
the ball in
so.
the middle.
Oh god.
I hope it's on Sky. Okay, Aki, what do you think the result's going to be against with
2-0 Forest. 2-0 Forest.
2-0 Forest. I think it will be a low scoring. I actually don't know. I think I'm going to go for a draw. I can't split it really. It could be 1-0 either way, but so I'm going to go for 1-0. 1-0 draw. And yeah, Liverpool are also playing this midweek. So the two teams that our teams are facing played today. Newcastle came through with a 4-3 win. They managed to hang on in the end after going 4-1 up in the first half. Forest came back into it. So we are facing them at Anfield. It's going to be a difficult game, I think.
No, it's not.
There's going to be goals also because go on.
Because
Go on,
Salah will
Mikey.
score.
Mo Salah will score, yeah.
It's an easy game. Don't make it out to be anything else.
Okay,
Newcastle are on form. They beat you lot. They beat you lot home and away, didn't they?
And we're on form, aren't we?
Yeah, we're great.
Mug.
Your title challenges in second,
Mikey.
apparently.
Oh,
Apparently,
Mikey's doing Aki.
The title challenges apparently were the
3-0.
best left back in the league.
3-0.
3-0 to Liverpool.
Yep, easy game.
All right, Craig.
Salah will get 2 and an assist.
I'm still gonna go for Newcastle win, to be honest, 2-1.
I'd suggest you just change your tactics.
It hasn't worked out for me, but I'm still there. Still gonna go 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. Aki, what are you saying?
3-2 Liverpool.
3-2. I think there'll be goals in it. I think it'll be 2-1 Liverpool. We should beat them, but I think they will score because they normally do against us, especially Isaac, the annoying guy.
Form, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing that happened this week, apart from this being a wonderful, wonderful Sunday and wonderful weekend for Liverpool fans, but what also happened was the Champions League draw that took place late last week. And we both found out who our teams are going to be, that the teams we're going to be facing are going to be. So for me, and I said it in the group chat, Mikey, you got an easy draw away against Arsenal, against PSV. But the way the draw has worked is that all the English teams are on the same side of the draw. So it looks like if all goes well, we may face you. Is it in the semi-final or the quarter-final? I can't remember which. But you've got after the PSV game, it looks like you'll be facing one of the Madrid teams, which won't be easy. But what do you think of the draw? And where do you think Arsenal are going to finish? Because you have said you're going to get to the final this year. So
we did have players that could play up front at that point. And some other attackers to help them. We weren't going to be playing 10 defenders on the pitch. And also, we weren't drawn against Madrid in the quarterfinals. I was hoping that they would have been dashed out by Man City, but they couldn't even help us do that. The draw is rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. They've made it as hard as it could possibly be for us to make the final. And then if we make the final, then we have to play Barcelona. So I would have, obviously you have to beat the best, they say, but you don't have to beat all the best normally.
That's true.
Like, I don't mind like 1 or 2 on the way through. And also I don't mind it if we've actually got all our players. But as it is, I think Saka might be back for the PSV, one of the PSV legs. Yep. Other than that, the rest aren't going to be back. I can't see it. I'm not optimistic about anything. The only good thing is that sometimes you can stink out the place in the Champions League and get through. So
Chelsea did that,
yeah. And so that's what, if we can get back to our defensive stability where we were quite difficult to beat, we might be able to stink it out the place.
Let's be honest though, yeah. Arsenal, even with their first 11, were never going to win the Champions League. So, you know, like,
you can say that.
Honest. No, but
you can say that. I'll be honest, and you're not going to win it.
You really think
you're not going to win it?
We have more of a chance, and history says that we have. History says we have.
I'm saying you're not going to win it.
Really?
And what? So what was the point in your comment then?
No, but I think most sane people would agree with me and disagree with you. That's just how it is. That we have a chance. That we have a chance because at the end of the day, we finished top of the Champions League. We have a history in the Champions League that you don't have, right? What history do you guys have in the Champions League?
Okay,
so I don't mean it as a diss. I don't mean it as a diss. I'm just saying. Arteta's won one trophy. No. Arteta's won one trophy that was in his first season, the FA Cup. Since then, you even said they're also around. That's in the Premier League. Like, you know, you've not done anything in the Champions League of note to be able to say that you have a chance to win it. Like, obviously, every team has like a 0.1% chance. You know, like Porto, like that, and that's the level of chance that Arsenal has.
So, Aki, you've just had
Porto in this situation.
You've had a little monologue there. So I know that you're a betting man. I know that you're a betting man. And so you'll be familiar with the odds. And Arsenal were second favourites for the Champions League. So somebody thought we had a chance, mate. And it was more than 0.1%. So what
did you put money on it? Did you put money on it?
What are you talking about?
Did you put money on it? No, you didn't.
I'm not a betting man.
Craig, what are you saying about PSV? What do you think is going to happen?
Mate, I just want to sim like FIFA, sim to the end of the season and just go to next season. Because they've actually just recruited our old op as well, haven't they? Van Persie has been recruited as their manager, so they're going to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're going to be up for it. So I don't give us any chance.
You don't think you're going to go through against PSV?
No, Not if the team is like this. Not if the team's like this, and not if
No,
You know that we nearly beat them. We nearly beat them with like some ridiculous players playing for us, and they needed to win the game as well.
Yeah, no,
I just
sorry.
don't. I'm just not up for it. I'm just not up for it with these players. I don't think these players are what happened against West Ham on Saturday have just shown me that these players have down tools, and I can't trust them enough to beat.
You didn't watch the game. I'm outing you.
What are you doing?
You can't say the players down tools.
I couldn't bring myself. Hold on.
No. I'm not having those comments.
Craig, don't have it, man.
My fellow Arsenal guy just chucked me under the bus, bro. What's going on?
Did you watch any highlights, Craig?
I saw the highlights. Yeah,
How did you not watch the game?
I don't know watch the game. You know why I didn't watch the game? Because it was at 3 o'clock, so I had no.
Is it 3 o'clock, Aki? So you know that's right. We don't do that.
Mikey watched it, but I didn't watch it.
You know how I watched it.
That's what we're doing. I'm
live
down.
settings.
Back to it. I don't trust the players, so I think we'll struggle against PSV in a two-legged tie with this squad we have now. If Saka's back or Martinelli's back, I may give us a bit more of a chance, but I just can't see it. I can't see it.
First leg is on the 4th of March, so that's a week on Tuesday. Week on Wednesday, one of the two.
He won't be back then. So
is that at home or away?
That's away.
That's away.
Actually, it's probably better that it's away. If we just go there and get a draw,
bring him back. Yeah,
come back when we've got Saka.
Yeah. I'm not confident at all.
No, you can't be confident because we're just not in a good position
at all.
And for sure, if you're not confident of being PSV, you cannot be confident of winning the Champions League. PSV should be like cannon for that.
Actually, I don't understand your.
No, all I'm saying is.
Turn it up.
No. All I'm saying is that as a Liverpool fan, if I'm not confident that we're not going to beat PSV, then I'm not going to be confident that we're going to win the Champions League.
The current team.
Who said they're confident we're going to win the Champions League? Because I don't know why
you guys said your second favourites.
Were.
Did you not say your second favourite?
Are you okay in the head?
Listen. When was this were? Okay, at what point were you second favourite?
When Lewis Skelly was still playing. Aki, PSG.
A little dig there. Is that what they're doing, bro? Is that what they're doing?
Put him up front.
PSG versus Liverpool, Aki. Is that a decent draw? I mean, for me,
not
it's
really.
One of those now, lads.
Nah, I'm disappointed, to be honest with you. If you come top, you expect to get. I would prefer to have been on the other side and got Benfica, if I'm honest.
The other side of the draw was better, to be fair, but
yeah, who cares?
I think. But it just goes to show, really, if Villa finished 8th, and they got Club Brugge.
They got a ridiculous draw. Honestly, ridiculous.
Villa can make the final.
And PSG are on form now. They beat City.
They're on your side of the draw, Craig.
Who? Villa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can they can't get to the final, mate?
What do you mean? You don't think they can?
Liverpool, Madrid, Atletico are all on this. PSG are all on this side of the draw.
Unai knows how to get to a final, man.
Actually, that's a good point.
Europa League, mate.
Does anyone?
He got Villarreal to the semi-finals when we beat them. I think that was the year we won.
The comment was he knows how to get a team to a final.
Well, in Europa League, I think he won it 3 times on the trot.
Oh my god!
Guys, does anyone know if Asensio and what's his name can play Rashford?
Rashford doesn't play, does he? Because United went in there.
I believe so. I'm sure it changed in the next phase. They were allowed to sort of register some players that already played for different teams. So I don't know.
Okay, well that could make a change for them.
Don't write them off.
Yeah.
I think we should have enough to go through.
I don't write them off.
Versus Madrid.
I think we'll have enough. I don't know if we win the Champions League, because I think Real Madrid are also back. That'd be a tough game in the semi-finals. I prefer to have Arsenal in the semi-finals. Obviously, that'd be an easy route to the final. But I think it's going to be Liverpool versus Real Madrid.
Are you saying that with chest, Aki?
Yeah, you talk about PSG first, mate. What's happening? Well, you're going to get past them easy, yeah?
I think personally, and you heard it here first, it'll be Liverpool versus Inter Milan in the final.
It definitely won't.
Okay.
Because Inter Milan
they're the strongest team on that side of the draw. Everyone's talking about Barcelona.
No, they're not.
Barcelona. You said Barcelona are going to get to the final just now.
Yes, which means Inter Milan aren't the strongest team on that side of the draw.
You have to remind yourself of what you said.
No, I'm having to think what you're talking about.
Okay, who do you think is the strongest team on that side of the draw? Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Okay, who's the second?
Why I think they're going to be in the final?
Okay, what about the second strongest team?
Bayern
Munich.
Bayern Munich.
Nah, Inter is stronger than them.
How we played them? I've seen them,
bruv.
I've
said it already about that team. That wasn't their first 11.
Their home ground.
They've only let one goal in the Champions League.
Rel keeps saying that, but
Rel, who wasn't playing for Inter Milan?
Say that again.
Who wasn't playing for Inter Milan against us?
All right, let me get the team up. Keep talking.
Because you watch a lot of Serie A.
What was Inter Milan versus Arsenal?
Their first team, I'm sure they had.
Inter Milan have only let in one goal in the whole of the Champions League. Like one goal.
That will change.
Wait, when did you play them?
In November time. I think it was November time.
Why is it saying 1-0 to Inter then?
Because it was 1-0 to Inter.
They won.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I thought you said you beat them.
No, we played them already.
They weren't good.
Yeah, they beat you without their first team then. That's what we're trying to tell you.
And I asked you who from their first team.
All lineups. All right, there we go. So they started with Divrij, Pavard, Dumfries, Fratesi, Kahonoglu.
Are you going to pretend that you know their team?
Zielinski. No, what I'm going to say is I know who was on their bench. So on their bench was Thuram.
Yeah.
Barella.
No one was rested.
Barella was rested.
Yeah, Barella.
He's a first team player.
So Thuram.
Barella came on. Mkhitaryan, I don't think he's a starter these days, but Thuram's a starter.
You're guessing who's starting now. What's going on here?
Go on.
Bastoni didn't play as well. Bastoni didn't play. Yeah. They rested players for that game. I specifically remember reading on Twitter Inter Milan fans saying,
who were they resting players to play at that stage of the season? Why were they resting players?
I can't even remember. But I remember what I do remember.
What
I do remember is going on Twitter and seeing Inter Milan fans raving about how they beat Arsenal without their full first team.
What is this?
You're just a Twitter guy.
Anyway, my point still remains.
By the way, go on.
The Inter are not the strongest team on that side of the draw. It's Barcelona.
They've let one goal in.
I think what Mike is saying.
No, in fairness, I agree, Mikey, that Barcelona are a stronger team, but I think Inter are a stronger team than Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are not that good. I watched part of their game today against Frankfurt. They give up chances galore.
They give up chances, but they've got lots of ammunition.
They do.
It's the same as always.
But over two legs, Inter Milan with a tight defense.
That defense.
Anyway, we'll see. So, Aki,
who did Inter even play? Who's got that drawer open? Because if they play Barca, then I'll back Barca every day to keep them out.
They'd play Barca in the semis. I think Inter would play Bayern Munich if they both qualify. And then it would be Barcelona.
So Inter have to beat Bayern and then Barca.
Yeah, I think so. But Bayern might not go through. They might lose to Leverkusen.
Say that again?
That they might lose to Leverkusen.
Who?
Bayern.
They've got Leverkusen.
Yeah, possibly, but probably not. Because Leverkusen
probably not.
Because
Inter got Feyenoord
this season.
Well, I think they played each other like twice this season already. Bayern haven't beaten them.
Leverkusen haven't won either.
Yeah, they've said. Depends on how you want to spin it, mate. Depends on how you want to spin it. Bayern haven't beaten them, but Bayern haven't beaten. That's the way I'm spinning it.
Okay,
So, all right.
guys.
Now we're talking about Champions League. Let's pick our semi-finalists and finalists. Go on. Everyone's got a lot to say.
I would say Real Madrid, Liverpool to go through. Barcelona, Inter Milan to go through, and then Liverpool to win it.
Right. Mikey?
Real Madrid, Liverpool, and then what? Barcelona,
Inter. Barca. Yeah.
And Inter to win the Champions League.
No, Liverpool to win Champions League.
Oh, all right. Just checking.
Mikey, what's yours?
Arsenal versus Liverpool.
No, do
you know what? If we had our full team, then I would have backed us. Because
it'll be April, isn't it? The quarters.
Yeah, but we can't have our full team because Jesus and Havertz are out for the season. So there's no point in the season.
Okay, yeah, you can't.
But we have a striker.
Yeah.
So it just changes everything. So Madrid, Liverpool, I expect. Although Atletico could do something against
I think they could.
Madrid. They've caused some trouble for them. And that league is tight this season as well. Atletico are well up there. So yeah, I expect Liverpool to play Madrid. I expect Madrid to win that game now. Only because your fullbacks are going to get ripped to shreds. That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why I think.
And then the other Rodrigo, is it Rodrigo against Robertson?
Yeah, that's the only reason why I think that would happen. Salah could have a superhuman performance and carry you guys through, but it will have to be. Otherwise, you'll be out. On the other side, Barcelona, let's give in a semi-final berth because you're rating them that highly. And then Barca will deal with them. And then Barca will play in the final against Madrid. El Clasico.
Which Madrid?
That's what I'm...
Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Just looking at the Spanish league table, there's 1 point in it. So they've all played 25 games. Barcelona top on goal difference. And then joint top on goal difference against Real Madrid. And then Atletico 1 point behind. So it is very tight. Atletico have only lost 2 games this season. So that's the reason why it might be that they could get through. Because over 2 legs,
Simeone
might do a number on them. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. And Barcelona lost 5 games, by the way, which is interesting. But they just win. That's what they do. They just win. And they bang goals as well. Craig, before I do my one, and we'll finish up there, what's your predictions for the Champions League quarters, semi-finals?
Semis, I'll go with sort of Aki's prediction there. So, Real versus Liverpool. And on the other side, that's what I can see. And Barca versus Inter. But then El Clasico final. You guys won't win the Champions League. I don't think so. I think it's Real Madrid are too tough for you guys. So El Clasico final, I'm going to go for, and then Real Madrid to win it.
We beat Real Madrid 2 times already.
All right, but can I do mine?
You know what? Real Madrid are looking a lot better. Mbappe, when Mbappe turns up, just a different thing.
Mbappe's never had a good game against us.
It's a different thing.
Different
for me, just before we end up, we finish up here. My one will be Aston Villa, Arsenal, and then Barcelona against Inter. And I think that Villa are going to win it. Villa are going to recreate 1978 or whenever it was they last won it. So yeah, there we go. Heard it here first. Right. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for joining us this week. We will be back next week. We'll have some games that we can review. I think it's international break after these midweek fixtures. I'm not sure. I'll have to check, but we'll be back next week. So please find us on YouTube and do like, comment, and subscribe. And also find us on Instagram and TikTok, where you can find extra content that you don't see on these podcasts. So do go and follow us there and like and comment on those socials as well. There we have it. Liverpool, 11 points clear. Everyone's here saying it's done. We'll see you again next week.
It's a wrap.
It's gone.
Peace out.
Ooh.